name is Wallace Gator Bradley, and I'm the president of United in Peace, Inc. I'm also the host of the Bradley Report. We got a very interesting show. So much has happened. Bogorovich has been freed, or his time has been commuted, but he's free. He's back with his family. Stone has received 3 years and 4 months. Stone is Trump's buddy, and they're wondering if Trump is going to give him a pardon. Congressman Bobby Rush has let it be known pretty much in an interview with Sharpton why he's with Bloomberg. And a continuation of the show that we had last week, explaining the special prosecutor that was in the Gerald Reed's case, working with the judge to try to send Gerald Reed back to the penitentiary for the rest of his life. And we find out that both of them were working together to cover up John Burge and Chicago police torture of African-American men, all the way back to the point where they were prosecuting Aaron Patterson, who ended up on death row and ended up getting a pardon. But before I can do all that, the reason I'm able to do all that is because the young lady that's the producer and the director of this show, she helped me to find the issues that will get your attention, because they got her attention, therefore they got my attention. She's also the chairman of United in Peace, Inc., none other than the woman that I've been blessed to be married to, Terry Marsh Bradley. And with that, I want to say to God be the glory. But I want to share this with you about Kim Foxx.
It's different now. But I grew up at Larrabee Division, better known as Cabrini Green. It's where I learned to be tough, to survive, overcame poverty and sexual assault. For years, the name Cabrini Green was synonymous with racism and poverty, and the towers were symbols for inequality and injustice in Chicago. Time passed, and the projects came down, but those problems haven't changed. Now new names symbolize injustice. Names like John Burge and Laquan McDonald. 4 years ago, I ran for state's attorney to change criminal justice in Cook County. I'm running again because we're only getting started. State's attorney is a tough job. Every day my office is under attack from a president who uses our city as a punching bag, the NRA hell-bent on letting guns flood our streets, and the FOP clinging to the old ways. They'll do anything to undercut progress, including attacking me personally over the Jussie Smollett case. Truth is, I didn't handle it well. I own that. I'm making changes in my office to make sure we do better. That's what reform is about. But we all know those attacks aren't just about one case. They're about stopping progress in Cook County. And those voices won't tell you that on my watch, we're prosecuting more violent crimes, not just low-level offenses. The gun prosecutions are up, that we're a national model for reform, and that while they focus on headlines, we put the killers of Hadia Pendleton and Tyshawn Lee behind bars. So hear it from me, a girl from Cabrini and a woman standing up to that old boys club. We're on the right path to reforming criminal justice in Cook County and making the system work for everyone. But there's still work to do, and I need your help. Join me.
Well, I want to tell my viewing audience, me, Wallace Gator Bradley, I'll walk it like I talk it. I voted early, February 20th, 2020. I cast my vote. As Kim Foxx was stating, to let people understand that now, you know, you got the special prosecutor that's investigating the Smollett piece, Mr. Dan Webb. He was appointed by Judge Tooman, who happened to be the same judge that appointed Dan Webb to be the special prosecutor. And the Karshman case, that's the young man that died. Some people say he was murdered, but he died because he was attacked by Daley's nephew, and the same guy, Mr. Dan Webb. The BGA sues to get the Karshman records. Special Prosecutor Dan Webb. Emmanuel's administration refused to turn over documents related to the Karshman and the Veneco investigation, so Better Government Association takes them to court. In that case, because now we know that the Special Prosecutor Dan Webb has indicted Smollett. He indicted in the Kaufman case, he indicted Veneco. In the Veneco case, Special Prosecutor Dan Webb cut a deal with Veneco to the point where he accepted the fact that he was guilty. And he got 60 days. And the Special Prosecutor Dan Webb said the police officers
I really went through a lot of thought, and I might add prayer.
Covered it up and made it where even though he knew that those police officers had done wrong, he found no reason to indict them. Cover up. They now, those that's against Kim Foxx, that whole evil cabal, wants to take the state's attorney's office back to the way it was up under Daley, Divine, and Anita Alvarez that dealt with the cover-up of police murders, police torture, and misconduct that's being done by other police officers.
Went through.
So, we as voters in Cook County got to come out and vote for the re-election of Kim Foxx, Cook County State's Attorney Kim Foxx. It was the people of Cook County that wanted change from the state's attorney's office of Daley, Divine, and Alvarez, and the corruption that's within that office that deal with the privilege. We in Cook County voted for a change, and we elected Kim Foxx. I'm asking that the voters of Cook County come out and protect your interests for criminal justice reform by re-electing Kim Foxx. Since then, call I see you, I'm going to get this one statement out. The Sun-Times, I came out and endorsed Kim Foxx. You see 3 presidential candidates, one a former candidate for the presidential election in 2020. 3 senators, United States senators, 4 United States senators. 3 of them were running for president. That's Warren, that's Sanders, that's Camilla. She was running for president and Duckworth from Illinois has came out and they have endorsed Kim Foxx because of her platform for criminal justice reform, fair prosecution, and public safety. We see that when you see three presidential candidates coming together, regardless of the fact that they're running for the president against one another, come together up under the fact that they want the people here in Cook County that's supporting them. They want the Bernie Sanders people to vote for Kim Foxx. Elizabeth Warren wants her people to vote for Kim Foxx. Okay? And who knows? Maybe Bloomberg wants his people. Maybe Biden wants his people. All of them are for criminal justice reform to come out and vote together to make sure that Kim Foxx get reelected, because they see the racist movement and those that's against criminal justice reform trying to stop the progressive movement up under Kim Foxx here in Cook County, and because of the voters. That's powerful. So, I did my duty. I voted early to elect Kim Foxx. Caller, I hear you. Come on, talk to me. State your name, please.
Yeah, this is James.
Hey, James.
Guys on your side, and I think they're giving a taste of their own medicine, like Kevin Grant and the rest of the politicians. And guys on your side, and guys on everybody, guys on the people you just said, guys on their side, and Kevin Grant, God go deal with Kevin Grant. They get a taste of their own medicine.
Right. Thank you, James. Hey, James, I know you're a man, you're a praying man, and you're a voting man. So I know you're going to do like I do, because we walking like we talking. Caller, I see you. State your name, please.
Good evening. My name is Joe. Funny you said about the evil cabal. Jane Byrne, I think, coined that phrase, and Eddie Burke was part of the evil cabal. Now, explain to me. I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to decide who vote. When you listen to the media, Kim Foxx accepted political money from him. And when Tony Pepperwick was running, he did a campaign fund for her. And she returned the money back. But yet, it's reported Kim Foxx said she don't have no problem keeping the money.
Okay, Joe, let me share something with you on that. Kim Foxx gave that money back to charity, so I don't know why y'all still pushing that when the fact of the matter is she gave that money away. What's important is while they got y'all on this Millette piece, and when the story came out and NBC did the story, and it came out to the money that Conway received from his father, the $2 million from an international global arms dealer. And when it came out in the same story, where Conway was trying to say Kim shouldn't hire a private lawyer, or the county shouldn't have to pay for a private lawyer for Kim Foxx in this Millette piece, and it came out that when Conway was assistant state's attorney in 2012, which may have been up under Nita Alvarez, he got caught up in some prosecutional misconduct to the point that the county hired a private attorney to defend him. Then he changed, oh my God, can you send that bill to me and I want to pay for that? So don't get caught up on the fallacy of some brothers and sisters that's trying to push that narrative And when I sat in the courtroom last Friday and saw some of the former assistant state's attorneys, one of them is a judge, and the other one is a special prosecutor named Milan, who, as assistant state's attorneys, covered up the police torture of individuals, even with Aaron Patterson's case, where he ended up on death row. They did that Friday while they got y'all watching this Millette. And the evil people in the courtroom made the decision, which was unlawful, to reverse a judge's order. They gave Gerald Reed a new case or a new hearing because he was tortured, and the same individuals, first off, that judge should have recused himself. He shouldn't accept the case that dealt with a John Birch torture victim when, as assistant state's attorney, he was a part of the cover-up of the torture of African-American men by the Chicago police. This ain't something that Gator just came up with. This is factual. You entitled to your opinion, but we're going to deal with truth because I respect everybody's opinion. So voters, don't get faked out with the okie doke about this Millette case, like Conway and them really care about a lying star of the empire. And then come back and charge the man with misdemeanors. So you can't overlook the same evil people, Dan Webb and the judge that appointed Dan Webb to be the special prosecutor in the Smollett case, when he was appointed by the same judge that appointed Dan Webb, the special prosecutor, in the Cosman case, and he cut a deal where Daddy's nephew gets 60 days for a homicide. And be solid on that. That ain't what Gator says. This is factual. That's why I show it to you. When the Better Government Association wanted them documents, Google it. People, don't take it from Gator. Take your smartphone and Google it. So, is the special prosecutor in Smollett case going to give Smollett 60 days? And cover up everything else like he did with Daddy's nephew? That's the same bunch. Talking about the evil cabal because of Giant Jane Bird. We talking about now. These the same individuals that want the state's attorney's office back to keep doing what they've been doing. And I ain't got no problem with the African Americans. They want to be with the man Conway and get their check. But the truth of the matter is going to be the truth. This woman, because of police misconduct, when Fraternal Order Police writes a letter to the public and say they want to get rid of Kim Foxx because she's letting people go because of police misconduct. Police misconduct. How y'all missing that? You see individuals coming out the penitentiary constantly after being tortured to confess the crimes that they didn't do. And then they say, well, we just concerned about the victims. If you was concerned about the victims, you would be out there trying to catch the individuals that committed the crime. You wouldn't have to torture an individual. So people in Cook County, you did the right thing when you elected Kim Foxx. Re-elect her, especially African Americans. So Joe, whatever your name is, you talking that, you call the right show. So everybody can hear your opinion. But if damn well, special prosecutor appointed by Judge Toolin, or Tooman, whatever his name is, he made damn well the special prosecutor in the Koshman case. He made Dan Reb special prosecutor in the Smollett case. In the Gerald Reed case that just happened Friday, you had a judge who once was assistant state's attorney, and the special prosecutor Milan was assistant state's attorney and was this judge's boss. And they both engaged in the cover-up of police torture. All that got exposed. So the people within Cook County is writing Chief Judge Evans for Chief Judge Evans to investigate that judge because what he did was unethical. Might be illegal. The question becomes, how can he vacate a judge's order when the only motions that was before him to be addressed was a motion to dismiss the indictment and a motion for a bond? The judge's order was for him to give this man a hearing date. The judge in Joe Reed's case took on the investigation of the case. He's a judge. Took on the prosecution of the case and acted as if he was the jury and made the decision that he gonna vacate the judge's order to get this man a new hearing. He played a tape in that hearing, Friday, that Gerald Reed's lawyer didn't have a copy of the tape, couldn't even defend the tape or whatever it was. He took complete control. And he did it because he knew he was a part of the cover-up of the torture of police officers under John Burge. And his special prosecutor was a part of the cover-up. And the people are asking, they called in Chief Judge Tim Evans' office. They got a letter writing campaign to the chief judge because they feel like that judge need to be off the bench because of what he did. It was a young lady that I won election to become a judge. She's now gone. May she rest in peace. They took her. They said she shouldn't become judge because another judge allowed her to wear her robe and sit in the courtroom. I believe over a traffic case. Because they said it was unethical. They say Kim Foxx shouldn't have recused herself, or she didn't recuse herself fully in a Smollett case. And none of those people that's running for state's attorney have said anything about what happened in Gerald Reed's case. None of them. What'd that tell you? None of them. because they wanted to be back like it was. They want to eradicate criminal justice reform in Cook County. I'm saying, people of Cook County, don't let them take your votes. And while everybody trying to watch what the Russians gonna do and all that, what they gonna do, pay attention to what's being done in Cook County. And if that man's father can give him $2 million and run commercials, what's to stop him from doing some shaky things with the votes? They're able to find African American preachers to come out and say what they say. They got a right to say whatever they want to say. But I got a right to say what they're doing. So you have a guy named Joe call me up about Jane Byrne talking about cabal. Yeah, that's what it is. Imagine how many individuals that was tortured to confess end up going to the chair for a murder that they didn't commit. That's what made Governor Ryan stop the death penalty. Because he realized about how evil the state's attorney's office was. The federal court said it. Mayor Rahm Emanuel said it to the point he even put a thing together for $5 million so individuals can try to get some type of reparations or whatever it is for what happened to them. Bobby Rush wrote a letter to Barack Obama to commute a young man's case by the name of, I believe it's Ed Wilson, because he was one of the torture victims. And he was out, he was able to get the 100,000. Everybody know how corrupt they were. And when you see the Fraternal Order of Police unite with white nationalists and come down and attack the state's attorney's office during April 4th to make y'all think that it was an April Fool joke, serious attack. And it ain't just on black people. In that courtroom, it was Hispanics, African Americans, white people, white, black, and brown in that courtroom. The courtroom was packed. They were shocked what that judge did. You had Hispanic aldermen in there. They writing letters because they don't want the Hispanic individual that was out trying to get a new trial. They didn't want to be in that courtroom up under those two individuals. They got a track record. The ghost of John Burge is alive and well and working, and they doing it while they got y'all watching Smollett. Do like I did. Talk about it, get out there and vote. Especially African Americans and Hispanics and white Euro people, be they Polish, be they whatever they are. What happened on Rush Street in the Cashman case, he wasn't African American or Hispanic. But the corruptness of the state's attorney's office before Kim Foxx got there treated him as if he was Hispanic or black. So I'm going to move from that because there's something that I want to share with you. And that's Bobby Rush's interview.
I really went through a lot of thought, and I might add prayer, before I decided that I was going to go with Mike Bloomberg. You know, I initially supported Kamala Harris, and when she when she dropped out, then I decided who was I going to go with next. And then that was around the time that Mike Bloomberg said, I'm going to get into the race. So I reflected on Mike Bloomberg, and I looked at his history. You know, Mike Bloomberg is not a one-dimensional individual, as you well know. There are some who want to castigate him for being a billionaire rather, and they forget that without Mike Bloomberg's money that he spent on behalf of Democrats this last election in the 2018.
Now watch this. Listen, here's why they're wrong. Here's why.
That was a technical thing, but he's about to explain why he picked Bloomberg. I saw the debate the other day, which was the first time that Bloomberg was up on the stage with the other candidates. Okay? And what was profound to me is every candidate up there had done something wrong where they should have to apologize for what they done. Every one of them. Then I saw a town hall where the candidate from Indiana, they call him Pete, Elizabeth Warren, and Bernie Sanders. And the question was asked, if they would accept the money for Bloomberg. Okay? And all of them said yes, they would. So if they would accept his millions or his 200 million on their campaign to win, why would they have a problem? Yes. Why would they have a problem with Bloomberg spending the money on himself?
Hi, it's Danny DeVito, and I'm asking you to contribute to.
So the thing becomes, we got to focus on making sure that Trump don't get reelected. You know, that's what everyone is saying. He stood up there and he spoke, and they asked him the question. One of the candidates asked him the question, pretty much, and I'm paraphrasing, are you ashamed for having so much money? And he said, no, he earned it. When all of them was trying to explain their platform for bringing new businesses into the United States or whatever it is, he asked the question, is anybody up here a business person? Have they ever ran a business or whatever it is? They all said no. He was the only businessman up there. What I noticed about the $200, maybe $300 million that he has spent on commercials, none of them was against a Democratic candidate that's running. Everything was to inform the people of what Trump is doing. We're going to try this again with Congressman Rush.
When you build your investments with Principal, you can build so much more.
This is for me, son?
You gonna help me?
So, this is what's happening. When he showed, this is his first time up on the stage. Everybody say he stumbled. Well, you know, that's the first time he was up on the stage. Trump really don't want to go against Bloomberg. I'm paying attention to what's happening around the country. And one thing I do know, at the end of the game, Democrats gonna come together. If Bloomberg is not the candidate, he's gonna do all that he can to make sure that the Democratic Party have what's needed to help win. But then the question becomes, if Bloomberg become the candidate, will Biden be able to convince those that believe in him to be with Bloomberg? Will Sanders be able to convince his people or the young adults to come together and be with whomever the nominee is? As I was watching MSNBC, how they were in Nevada asking the young millennials if Bernie Sanders don't be the candidate, would you vote for the Democratic nominee? And they said they won't even vote. That's sad. That's one of the reasons that Trump was able to get elected. Because he was able to convince everybody that, hey, Hillary cheated. Bernie, call, I see you. State your name, please.
We agree on one thing. There's a process. Everyone should go through that process. Shouldn't be no shortcut. Because Donald Trump wasn't vetted in the media, wouldn't ask the tough questions. If he didn't ask, when one person asked a question, he didn't answer that question, it should have been another person. He wasn't vetted properly. Now we got Bloomberg thinking that he could enter the race right now, and he hasn't been vetted at all. He hasn't asked the tough questions. If you want to be the president, you got to be able to answer the tough questions.
You know,
you got to
hey,
be vetted.
let me share something with you. I understand all that. But we fighting against an individual that allowed Russia to come in to aid and assist him to get elected. That was unconventional. We got individuals that's in the White House that convinced the Republican Party to be silent when they showed all the evidence of all the wrongs that he did as president. The news today is where Trump got rid of the guy that was over the intelligence agency because he informed Congress that the Russians got a plan to do the same thing or worse in 2020. So you got to come and do unconventional things because you're running against an unconventional candidate that's under control by Russia. What Trump did wasn't the process. Was not the process. The law says you cannot get help from a foreign government to interfere with elections in the United States. It goes back to what I said earlier. Bloomberg's 200 or 300 million that he spent was to enlighten people what Trump has done and what he is doing. This happened today on the news. This is what's happening today. He got rid of the intelligence guy. Not because he was lying. He got rid of him because he informed Congress of what was happening. The United States is under attack by Russia. Period. You see in the commentary that's coming out now, where they're not having a problem, saying that Putin may be Trump's silent running mate. He's trying to create what Putin has over there. Complete control. How we got Trump last time is because of Putin them putting that misinformation out through social media and everything else that convinced black folks don't vote for Hillary because her husband was about the 1994 crime bill. The black folks say, well, we ain't voting. Then they got the millennials. You shouldn't vote because what the Democrat Party did to Bernie. So they didn't vote. So Trump got all his racist individuals in the Midwest states that had the most electoral votes because he knew it wasn't about the popular vote. Michigan. He made sure the people in Detroit say, hey, man, well, forget it. It doesn't make sense for us to vote. We shouldn't vote. So he suppressed the black vote like that. But all the racists that was in Michigan, Indiana, Wisconsin, voted in step because they knew a bunch of blacks wouldn't vote. A bunch of young adults that's white, brown, and white wasn't going to vote. And he won. Then he called his buddy, his lawyer buddy, Giuliani, man, you the president, you can do anything you want to do. You choose somebody on Fifth Avenue and you want to go to jail. In Madison, where Manhattan, anywhere. When you saw him do the State of the Union address, and he gave that Medal of Honor, or whatever that medal was, to Rush Limbaugh, I saw it, you saw it, everybody saw it. He didn't do it in his office. He did it in Congress. When the man sit up there and he tell you the reason he loved Mitch McConnell, because he's making sure that they put corrupt judges on the bench that's going to affect our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren, where they can't get a chance to get to court because they're rigging the court system. And you sitting up here talking about, well, Bloomberg, I go through a process. We're fighting against individuals that don't care about the Constitution of the United States, don't care about the process. That's what's happening. I just told you what happened in the Twin Cities of California. Don't care about no process. impropriety or bias by a judge, he must recuse himself. That judge in Joel Reed's case knew that him and Marlon worked together on police torture victim cases and prosecuting them to the point that they was covering it up. And then made a decision to send a man back because the judge gave him the right after he'd been locked up 28, 29 years. Because he was tortured. And you talking about process? Only one process that works. African Americans, Latino or Latinx, liberal whites, moderate whites. If you don't re-elect Kim Foxx, don't think that that evil state's attorney's office that's going to come back if Kim don't win, going to care about you, because they not. Look at the Kochman case. I think the man got 60 days. They didn't put him in Cook County Jail. They put him in a jail in another county. And so that it wouldn't appear that the county government had to pay for his stay in another county jail, he paid for it himself. Take my word for it, Google it. He paid for his own stay. 60 days. That's what the special prosecutor, damn well, that's the deal he cut with him. So what deal is he going to cut with Smollett? Smollett got a misdemeanor. If you go to trial, he can't get no more than a year. No lawyer worth their salt is going to take that to trial. So, what I'm saying is this. I may seem heated, but that's because I walk it like I talk it. I voted. Yeah, I voted for Kim Foxx. I was in that courtroom. And what I'm telling you about, Milan, whatever his name is, Google it. There's a letter writing campaign going to the president of the county board to tell them stop paying Milan as a special prosecutor, because what they just did in Gerald Reed's case, just Gerald Reed's case, 3 or 4 other cases. Ivan Smith, Javan Deloney, Terrence Brooks. County taxpayers' money being spent. In Gerald Reed's case alone, over $6 million. For a whole year, every time Milan, the special prosecutor, got a continuance, he was billing the county on an average of $30,000. Him and his partner, the judge, was seeing to his former boss getting paid. It got to be some criminal in that. So, Cook County, people in Cook County that believe in criminal justice reform, you got a right to call the Chief Judge, Tim Evans, to investigate what happened in that courtroom. That judge. And if what I'm saying is a lie, so be it. But if it's the truth, you got to take him off the bench, put him on administrative leave or duty, whatever you do. He shouldn't even be allowed to be a judge. A judge that have done something that's unethical shouldn't be on the bench. Be he black or white, male or female, or Latinx, whatever it is, shouldn't be on the bench. All the people that running for judge, Google them. I did, that's what I do. We in Cook County can't afford to let the state's attorney's office get back in the hands of individuals who supported the cover-up of police torture, police misconduct, police murder. Look how easy it was for the judge that freed those 3 police officers that knew they lied and was covering up the murder of Laquan McDonald when we all saw the tape. She freed him. Find out where she come from. Was she assistant state's attorney? Is the Fraternal Order of Police one of her supporters? All police officers are not bad. But when you got a bad bunch of police officers that's pushing that, someone told me, even on the Fraternal Order of Police board, there's no African Americans even on the board. So don't be fooled. Vote. Don't choke. I got to wrap this up. But what I shared with you is truth with documented facts. Don't get caught up on event, process. They ain't working with the process, player. They're not working with the process. They finding African Americans that's willing to confuse black voters by the dozens. Preachers by the dozens. To convince all of y'all to watch Millette, while the individuals that covered up police torture, murder, and misconduct, there's a term that's called look, listen, and learn. Kim Foxx dealing with fair prosecution. Look at the people that have been found guilty up under her. She prosecuted more gun cases than Anita Alvarez. She got more convictions for gun cases than Anita Alvarez. Two police officers has been found guilty. One just the other day got 10 years for killing an individual. I want to say, vote, don't choke. Those of you that don't want to vote for Kim Foxx, that's on you. Those of you that want criminal justice reform, fair prosecution, and public safety, you better keep the woman in there that you elected to be there. Re-elect Cook County State's Attorney, Kim Foxx. With that, I want to say vote, don't choke, and to God be the glory.